Hey, welcome to the Post Show, broadcasting live from Zena TV in Los Angeles. This is where we elevate the creative cult, right? This is where creatives can be seen. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for always watching us. Thanks for being fans of the Post Show and everybody on it. I'm Poe, of course. On Wednesday, May 10th, from 9 p.m. to 12, the Tinker's Dream release party at Finn McCool's, that's 2702 Main Street, Santa Monica, California. Tea House Records presents the official record release party of virtuoso violinist Chris Murphy's latest album of original Irish music. Lauded as cinematic sweep embodied in musical form by Scope Magazine, this new release takes listeners on a heart-racing oral journey across the Emerald Isle. Critically acclaimed on both sides of the Atlantic, it's been described as a musical work of art, of high artistry by indie community, a true. I have our guests on my mind, trees and dolphins and stuff. Okay, a true piece of art by Events Magazine, and the reviews have only begun. Join Chris and a host of special guests as they celebrate this new work of musical mastery. With special guest opener, Trevor Green, which I love Trevor Green. He does the didgeridoo, among other things. 21 and over, no cover. And then on Thursday, May 11th, from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m., Evan Stone and the Translucent Ham Sandwich Band live at the Mint. That's 6010 West Pico Boulevard in Los Angeles. An eclectic multimedia, multifaceted group based in Orange County, incorporating improvisational music performed by a 10-piece band, accompanied by video jugglers, dancers, magicians, poets, actors, painters, and a mentalist. In a show that can only be described as a smorgasbord of sensory overload, the THSB experience creates an undeniably unique atmosphere for both performer and audience alike. $10 cover. For more on the ham, go to translucenthamsandwichband.com. And I will definitely see you there. That's like one of my favorite shows on the planet. And at the Mint, I believe that was their first appearance was at the Mint many years ago. You will not be sorry if you go and see that. I actually painted live at the Mint. It's all improvisational. Everybody that's there is just improving to some bitchin' jazz. It is the best show on earth. Besides the Post Show. Just kidding. Okay, so today we're talking about the power of visual language to create change. Once again, co-hosting with me from East London, the owner of Hidden Streets of London, wall broker and urban art promoter. And today's our anniversary, 2 years. Danny Wood!
2 years.
Happy anniversary!
So what was that 2 years for? Since we first met back in London, right?
Since we first met in London, and we talked about our collaboration together the following month.
2 years
and
ago.
And that's happened. That's
Holy
2 years
fuck.
ago today.
Wow.
Today, I was setting up at Illustrated.
In London, which we're going to come on to later, right?
I'm going to announce that later.
There you
'cause
go.
It's coming up again.
Got it.
Isn't that exciting? That's
It
pretty
is. 2 years
cool.
flies by, man.
You are so far away from that mic. Okay, along with a British artist, muralist, using the power of visual language to raise awareness of endangered creatures, tackling the extinction crisis in a big way, one wall at a time, LOUIS MASAI. Woo! How do you say your name?
It's Masai.
Masai. Like Messiah.
Well, no.
I'm going to think of it like that.
Yeah. But it's like the warrior, Masai warrior, like as in the African tribe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
There you go. Learn something new about people all the time, even though
I
you know them well.
know. Because you have a strong connection to Africa.
Well, my dad was born in Africa.
It's a pretty strong connection.
Yeah. But yeah, my grandfather was a geologist, and so
I know that too.
You
Talk
do.
in the mic though. Make sure you get
And,
close because we want to hear every word you have to
so
say.
there was a lot of African artifacts in my house as a kid, and so and then my old pa would tell me stories about like his adventures through the bush in Africa and stuff, and it was cool.
It's like ridiculous. Like you lived in a story world land, fairy tale
I
land,
guess,
story
like
world land. Same diff, right?
Yeah, I mean, stories as a kid is like what fuels your imagination. So
Of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think, Danny?
Yeah, I agree. I read lots of stories as a kid. Once. The twits.
Once you read lots of stories as a kid.
And the interesting thing is how the stories that we read or have been read to us like influence who we become. So mine was about the exploration of animals, and yours was the twits.
Yeah, there you go. It's actually a good book.
Yeah, I know, it's good. Love Roald Dahl.
Legend. Indeed.
Okay, we're going to cut to the chase right now. We're going to go straight to a promo so you guys can all see what this man does. Check it out.
Let's see.
Okay, so the Art of Being, you just did this amazing trek around the USA, helping us poor dumbed down Americans out.
Yeah, that was like a mission.
I mean, I say that because that's how I feel. And I'm not being sarcastic. I really do feel that way. It's embarrassing to me where we are now. One thing that I wanted to bring up is, I'm going to bring it up later because I'm going to forget. Anyway, let's talk about the Art of Being. So how many murals did you end up doing? Was it 20 or was it 16?
Oh, I don't know. I think it might have been around 20 in the end, but some of them were just like quick.
Okay, because I looked and there was two kind of
different. I mean, what I did through the website is I worked out a way in which to highlight a certain amount, but then there's no point in putting up like 6 posts about a bee because it's still the same species.
I get it.
So
okay.
There was more than I posted.
So I see. You traveling all around America doing that, right?
Yeah, started East
Let's pull up
Coast,
those photos because I know there's it was kind of a promo photo, but then there's a map of where you went.
So how did you choose those cities and how did that?
Well, I kind of had a few sort of destinations I wanted to get to. So I wanted to start in New York. I wanted to get to San Francisco and Los Angeles. Well, actually, I had an environmental conference I was speaking at just outside San Francisco. So I knew I needed to get to Miami for Basel, and then it was a question of
filling it in between.
Yeah, exactly. And then just doing the research to find out what my connections were within each cities that were along the way and events that were happening.
And you also did the research on what were the endangered, the ones most in need of awareness at the time to actually paint, right?
There's There's a few different ways to research like a species that's in decline. You've got the US Wildlife and Fishery, which is that's a government-based website, which is quite easy to find information. But then you can cross-reference that over with the IUCN, which is it's like an organisation dedicated to accounting all of the species on the planet.
It's a worldly thing.
Yeah,
The
it's a world
United
thing.
Nations, like.
I don't think it's to do with the
I mean,
United
it's
Nations,
but
yeah,
it's
it's
no,
to
no,
do
no. But
with
what I
like-
mean is,
yeah.
it's bigger than us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. No, it's the
Like
whole
more
planet.
world. Okay.
And so, yeah. So then basically, I mean, sometimes it wasn't necessarily the most endangered species because it was a question of I'm doing that in a public domain, so therefore people have an opinion about what species they want painted, or the composition of the wall will dictate it, or
Exactly.
there are different factors within it. But I mean, I had a list of 30 species with me, and then I picked out the ones that I
Which is
painted.
sad in itself.
Oh, there's thousands and thousands on there. Like I would say there's easily a species a day that goes extinct.
That makes me. Can I throw up real quick? Let's look at. This is half of this documentary. Actually, this is Florida. This is the Florida one, because was that the wrapping up of it?
Yeah. So
Okay.
in
So that
Miami
has the.
was the end,
I
yeah.
saw that it had the most information as far as you speaking about the issues.
Right.
So let's go ahead and play part 1, and you can see what we're talking about. Check it out.
Without the ocean, we wouldn't be able to survive here on this planet. It's where 50% of our oxygen comes from. It's quickly dying, and so that should be a cause of alarm for a lot of people. Beyond that, it covers 71% of our planet. Most life is in the ocean. Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And we know basically nothing about it. So we're destroying something that we know nothing about. All the mysteries and benefits that it could have may soon be gone.
The ocean is an unknown world. It's something that, as humans, that we haven't yet come to terms with how far it goes. We know more about what's up in the skies than what we know about what goes on under the water. When it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And one of the biggest imposing factors for the ocean is the fact that you can't see it. Everything goes on underneath, and we don't get the opportunity to really understand what's going on in there.
It seems like all the red flags are out there and not too many people are listening right now. I'm not trying to make this super depressing, but this is just the reality of the situation. What is happening out there is affecting everything up here on land. So if we were to conserve the ocean and protect it, it's going to make things much better off on our planet and everyone's individual lives as a whole. It seems like people need that "what about me" prospect to really get up and do something about it. But you know, each person's life will be dramatically affected due to the health of the ocean.
Throughout the tour, each state that we go to, I've looked at species which are threatened for their existence within each state. In some cities it's been a lot of land, in some cities it's touched their ocean or rivers. Now we're in Florida, which has got 3 borders all the way around the ocean in the Caribbean. The impact of the ocean on this land is detrimental. When climate change kicks in full effect, this land could be gone. People living here are experiencing what it's like to see sea levels rise. Oceans are flooding the roads. In conjunction to that, species that are in the ocean are suffering hugely. You've got sharks that are suffering, there are fish that are suffering, the corals are suffering. Everything is having an effect due to the change in the temperatures in the water.
So they're the only ones that you see here that were not rescued to rescue.
In the last 50 years or so, we've lost or stressed, kind of destroyed about half the coral reefs that were in a healthy state 50 years ago. So now the big problem or the big challenge is to think how can we retain the other half. Reefs are incredibly special. In fact, about 1/3 of all the marine species we know are found on a coral reef. They also provide a source of protein for about 500 million people worldwide, and they protect shorelines on Pacific Islands during big storm events from waves that cause a lot of erosion. We've lost most of the reefs from a combination of pollution and mostly overexploitation or overfishing, and now increasingly from the effects of a shifting climate. This narrative can actually change direction, and that's because there are some thrillingly simple devices that we know work to rebuild fisheries on coral reefs and reestablish the ecological resilience. And when reefs get really healthy and resilient, we know their chances of surviving climate change are much improved.
Okay, so what a trek that was.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was...
I mean, that's the first part of it. We still have part 2.
Right.
So this was... What were the dates again? This was from...
Well, that
when
that
did this end?
particular
I forget
film
when
was
it
in
ended.
December. That's when it ended. Yeah.
And it was 6... No.
We did 9 weeks.
Yeah, 9 weeks. I
Yeah.
was going to say 10.
You took a crew with you, right? You had the
Yeah,
guys
I
that I
had
met in
two,
Venice.
yeah. Yeah.
So was that photographer and...
No, that's... Well, they do take photographs
Mhm.
too, but Tia and Emil are film producers.
Okay, cool.
And yeah.
Because a big part, like that's one part of it, but probably the hardest part, as you and I both know, is hustling the walls and getting that set up. Because we were just talking about this before we came on. There's so much stuff that can go wrong.
Yeah.
And you had to
so
do, you
so
did that
much stuff.
ahead of time, right? To
Yeah, some of it, not all of it. Some of it was rock up to a city,
Mm-hmm.
find that wall,
wow.
leave.
Hmm.
Because, like I said, there were certain dates that we had to get to somewhere for.
Exactly.
So, like, a destination was a stop through, and you can find someone to help you, to give you the gateway into a city, but that doesn't necessarily, they got the wall queued up, so you still got to find the wall and hustle this, hustle that, or get a ladder and find paint.
It's simple things, right? From the ladder.
No,
thing,
you know
like,
what? Nothing
Yeah.
about this sounds simple at all. Even getting people to understand and realize the position we're in. Like I was talking off camera about Stephen Hawking's new prediction of 100 years, we need to find another, planet to live on. That is sickening to me in every way. Because a lot of it we can, help at this point.
Right.
Maybe not. Maybe we're too far gone, but because
Okay.
like you said, we don't know what's in the ocean. I know the ocean is dying, basically. Is it too far gone? Do you think?
I mean,
Sorry.
I mean, it's difficult to know because, I mean, I don't believe in promoting negative idea, and I think that it's better for the general public to feel like there is hope. But when I speak to
Well, that in itself didn't sound real good.
no, I know, but then when I speak to scientists are like, well, to be honest, Louis, it's fucked, and it's been that way for a while. And but then
the scientific point of view is it's fucked.
It's fucked. Yeah.
But at the same
That's
time,
that's a scientific terminology at this point. It's fucked.
We're all
but
fucked.
at the same time, there are people who are inventing ways to sort the problem out. So a kid has invented.
So you see, it's the kids that are most concerned. Of course, they should be, but they're also the ones that are proactive. Not the only ones, but there's many kids that are proactive. Yeah, cleaning up the ocean.
This kid,
Is
what?
that who
Go
you're
on,
talking about?
interested?
Well, there's kids like he's made a machine that's basically collecting all the plastic out of the ocean.
Exactly.
And so it's able to filter it and clean it.
Okay.
But in order, there's almost no point in that happening if people don't stop
Yeah,
putting the shit
Putting the shit in the ocean.
in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned yesterday through doing finishing off this painting I did of the finback whale, which is resident to LA, that 10 metric tons of plastic is pushed into just the LA ocean
so
a day.
I read, because Sky News is doing this big kind of
Yeah.
proactive plastic thing back in the UK, and obviously it's broadcast over here as well, and they said 80 tons a day in the ocean. 80 fucking tons of plastic. Like, where does that even come from? I don't. Like,
Things
that's
like this.
insane. Yeah.
No, it's sickening. It's very sickening. But you did say, this is terrible, but you did say your personal belief is that nature doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah, I don't.
And that the destruction of the current stage in the Earth's life cycle is what nature has intended for us,
Mhm.
possibly. And the other thing to add to that, karma's a bitch. That's what I know. Karma's a bitch.
Yeah.
You know, if we destroy our Earth out of greed, we deserve it.
Yeah, we do, but does everything?
Does
that we take
everything
with-
else?
with
No.
us?
No.
And that's the point where I get annoyed and I get upset, and that's
Exactly,
why I
yeah.
like to paint about what I'm painting about.
Yeah.
So when did this become ingrained in you? Then? Where's your love? Because you're very topical about it, and your messages come across clearly from your work. Again, we just spoke about this before, that it's quite clear the message that you're trying to portray. So when did that become part of who you are?
I think it's been there since I was a kid. I mean, I was, maybe I must have been about 7 or 8, and I was already taking walks with WWF to raise money and stuff, and so it's kind of always been ingrained there.
It's embedded in your DNA.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily been there from an artistic point
That
of
was
view.
my next question.
And it's through the transition of painting about an animal and then thinking, well, actually that isn't just an animal, it's an endangered animal, and thus it's a species, and therefore it's a fragile environment that we are imposing on it. So
and it's also
that's
part
what
of
I
the circle
discuss.
of life. It's everything is important, everything's necessary, to keep things going.
Yeah,
And you
totally.
screw one thing up, just like the bees, which we'll talk about, then you've screwed everything up. Okay, we're gonna go to a video about the jellyfish. So check this out. We'll be right back.
My name's Louis Masai, and I'm from England. I don't really see what I'm doing as a job. I'm just having fun. I'm lucky that people pay me to have fun. I mean, other people may argue differently, but I don't think it's a profession. I think it's a way of life, because you can't ever shut off from being an artist. I think art's got a voice. It's got a silent voice that people can hear it and sort of feel. Animals don't have that voice. And so I like the idea that my work can be speaking silently for species that don't have a way to say, hello, I'm here, I exist. My music, I collected hip-hop, reggae, funk, Latin, breaks, a little bit of dubstep, a little bit of jungle, Afrobeat, new funk, then jazz. I listen to everything. But when I paint, I notice that different genres make me paint differently. If I'm listening to drum and bass or jungle, I'll paint super fast. Whereas if I'm listening to jazz or old school reggae, I start to paint a lot slower. I feel the paint more when I'm listening to music. So Pippa and Ron asked me to do jellyfish, and it's always something I've thought, it would be fun to do it, but I've never really found the opportunity to do it. I kind of shied away from it because I like eyes. when I do my pieces. I like to build out, and I love fur, and jellyfish don't have any of that. They're very transparent, but they've got awesome colours. And I like the way they flow and move, and there's like a different motion in them. So it's really attracted to the idea of painting them. You guys have got the coolest school to be at. Like, I don't know if advertising's my thing, I'll be honest, but at the same time, who cares? Because you guys are like such an environment. You're very blessed.
Okay, so the jellyfish was a challenge for you because it's not what you like to paint or are used to. So what was the outcome of that? You kind of liked it once you did it? It looked like it turned out really, really great.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of... What I don't like about it is that I don't like painting murals that are inside because they're kind of closed off from the general public. And
oh, that was an inside mural.
yeah,
oh, I
so
didn't.
it's inside the
I
it's
didn't
inside
realize
the
that.
school.
Okay, I got
So
it.
it's kind of a commission, but at the same time, though, it is a school.
It is a school.
and
I was
so
just going to say
therefore
that.
loads of people are seeing it, but then it's cut off from the general public, and for me, that's what's important about
Your message.
painting outside, and the message is that it's there for the public domain and for every passer.
That is where social media comes in, and you definitely have a big part of that.
Yeah.
Making sure things are accessible through there, and this video is accessible through there. So what you really prefer is to paint fur. So what about the red wolf?
Yeah. So.
And this was in London.
Yeah. So.
How was that transition?
Works.
So yeah, I did a show a couple of years ago, and what I then started to do was to paint the paintings I'd done in the show out on the street, just because that was
Okay,
the
yeah.
sort of research I'd done. And so I did the red wolf, but the interrelation, like underneath the red wolf, is a Kachina doll, which is from the Hopi tribe.
Exactly. I think that shows in this video. Let's play the video and see that. At the very end, it does show the doll. Yeah. Okay. Rockin', rock band founded in 1983, then reunited in 2016. Please welcome Rough Gut.
All right, everybody, it's your co-host here, Chris Hager.
Amir to Rock. That's Amir to Rock. Dave Alford.
A.K.A. Rockin' Dave.
Rockin' Dave. Everybody knows Rockin' Dave. Who's missing?
Actually, yeah, right. Actually, yeah.
Matt?
Paul's out in Vegas, and he wanted to be here, but could not make it today. No, actually, he doesn't. His excuse is not as good.
We're not gonna.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
He does have a pretty good.
Miss you, bro.
We do miss you. What is it like starting again? How crazy is that?
Not only is it unfinished business, but it's nothing short of a miracle.
Everybody's still alive. That was the first poster that Warner Brothers made of us.
Pointing. Oh, the 80s pointing.
84?
6.
Okay,
86.
Jackson Guitars, now GJ2 Guitars, likes to refer to us as the San Diego Mafia.
We actually, believe it or not, paved the way for a lot of those
I know
bands.
you did.
We just wanted to announce that we are actually working with Wendy Dio again now, and we're real excited about
Because she
that.
was your manager to begin
She
with.
was our manager all through the
I don't know
80s.
if we're talking about new music now.
We can talk about new music.
Let's talk about new music. What you guys got? Come on,
Well-
bring it. Hey, welcome back to the Hollywood Post Show. So on Saturday, May 13th, 8 to 11 p.m., Women in Vaudeville at the Bob Baker Marionette Theater, 1345 West 1st Street in Los Angeles. This event marks the first collaboration between the theater and the LA-based performer. It's part of a series of events hosted by the theater to foster and embolden the diverse and vibrant community of vaudevillian artists in LA. World-renowned juggler and entertainer Lindsay Benner will serve as the master of ceremonies, drinks, live music, magic, dancing, acting, hula hooping, comedy, contortion, and stunts, with all acts interspersed with Lindsay and Bob Baker's world-famous marionettes singing, dancing, and playing with the audience. Sounds a little frightening. An event filled with magnificent talent, echoing the bygone and golden era of vaudevillian comedy. Tickets are $20. Now vaudeville, I'm all for, because that's what we used to go see, not we, but the humans used to come during the Great Depression because they had their nickel or their dime or whatever it was. So we have a $20 bill, we can go see all of the greatest entertainment in the world, vaudeville. It probably even included maybe a beer. That would be great. At the Old Truman Brewery, 91 Brick Lane. E16Q London. What is with the E16Q business?
It's E. E is for East. So East.
Oh,
West, there you go.
6Q? Is that a quarter? What is that?
E.
Illustrated 2017 is back,
Yes.
showcasing some of the brightest visionaries in contemporary illustration and street art. Enjoy one of UK's most exciting exhibition environments, set against the backdrop of the Old Truman Brewery in Shoreditch, East London's revolutionary arts and media quarter. Right,
It
Danny?
is. This
is not an art fair, right, Danny?
It's not an art fair.
But an industry event
Yes.
with quality content, carefully curated program of seminars, workshops, not one by Danny.
No, not this time, 'cause I'm here.
Unless you can start flapping your wings
I
now.
can't. So is produced by. Right, go on. You finish.
Okay, I'll finish. Live art, tournaments, and music, all within an engaging arena. Grab your early bird tickets now. For more info, illustrated.co.uk. This is where Danny Wood and I met 2 years ago, and 2 years ago today.
It was. That's kind of crazy. So
That's
first of all,
pretty crazy.
it's curated by two of my good friends, Mark Farrington and Blase, and yeah, it's slightly different to the street art kind of aesthetics that I'm used to. It's mainly illustrators, but it's a great weekend.
Well,
like
I thought it was a really cool merge of the two. Actually.
Yeah. I mean, they have a secret walls there, which is one thing. They have
Secret
kids
Walls was
workshops. They have group workshops. They have live tattooing.
Incredible music.
It's a great mix of everything, and it's definitely one for like all the family. You know, it's children friendly, and everyone can get involved. And yeah, that's an important part of like getting people into the community. And obviously, being in, as you say, Shoreditch is saturated, and as whatever your opinion of it is now, it's still a hub of the urban art world as we know it. Specifically being from London, you know, agree to? Yeah, totally. And it's the go-to place. Everybody knows. Everyone wants to paint.
Louis was there. You painted bees there.
I've painted bees everywhere.
No, but you painted bees there on purpose, right? Yeah. I mean, not to mean everything else wasn't on purpose. We could actually go to that. Yeah. Well, yeah, we could. Well, for one thing, I have the cup and saucer, which is kind of great. Are you gonna make more of those?
Oh, you have one?
No, I wish I had one.
Oh, you wish you had one. Yeah.
Are you making more of those?
Yeah, they're kind of like.
That's actually cut 22. If people want to see that, the cup and saucer with the bee.
Yeah, they're kind of like they're not limited. That one is limited because it's got the heart on the inside.
On the inside, yes.
But then now there is an unlimited amount, and they're kind of like bread and butter kind of things.
Nice.
Okay, so the bee I can't remember where the bees were. Is it This Is Now trailer? Is that where you talk about the bees?
No, This Is Now was a project I did with Synchronicity Earth, which is an environmental platform for.
Oh no, I remember what that was now. Okay. Let's continue on. Let's go to the coral reef. Let's take a visit.
Yeah, that's the one I did with Synchronicity.
Okay, let's do that.
Nothing else on this planet seems to be in competition to it. For colour, for diversity, for busyness. I don't think anyone's tuned into nature's voice. I think that's part of the problem.
We've got to care about coral reefs because they're the canary in the mine in terms of living organisms and a living ocean. Everything is based around coral reefs, and if we destroy the coral reefs, we destroy the whole hierarchy of life in an ocean environment. Last almost 50 years that I've been recording, well over 50% of my archive is from habitats that no longer exist acoustically. There's a lot of information that's contained in that whole choral narrative from listening to things from a grander perspective. The dying coral reef is simply loss of sound. There's no life support for them, so they just don't exist. Except for a few snapping shrimp, it's almost dead quiet. All of these habitats have a certain level of fragility to them beyond which you can't go. And, if you're not very careful, you're just going to.
Okay, so the coral reefs.
Yeah, coral reefs, man. Where do we start?
That's a big deal.
It's a serious issue because essentially the reefs are protecting us from many climate change problems that are to come, but at the same time, the climate change is what is destroying them, amongst other things. And so
catch 22.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the canary effect in the environment. So as biodiversity, when the coral reef's gone, expect the next one to go very afterwards, which would be things like the forests. And
speaking of the canary, we're gonna go to Last of My Kind real quick because I really like it. That's the only reason.
Brazil, 2013.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
yeah, that was kind of old, but I had to play it because it's super cool. But we better go on break, so we'll catch you in just a couple minutes. Okay. Any last words?
Deep breath. Whoa, that's loud.
Okay, we still have the second half of The Art of Being. So this was a 5-film documentary.
Yeah, we made films. And actually, what was cool about it is that, I mean, I really pushed these guys hard because they did all the filming and editing within the road trip. So by the time
But yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
it was done.
It was done.
That's the underestimated thing about the art world, from my point of view. You non-photographer and non-videographer, whatever the fuck you want to call it, like some skills like Birdman and Zane, etc. Chop them down. It takes a lot of fucking.
You
work
drop
to
cameras
go.
into emotion.
I do into motion. It takes a lot of effort, as you know, for somebody to go out and produce something. And I used to have a blog, and I was really crap at it. And somebody once said to me, "Something worse than an out-of-date blog." Real time, and to deliver something quality, people want to see it like that, and if you can get it like that, then you're the go-to person. So yeah, I kind of can relate to or appreciate the amount of effort that must go into doing that, plus while you're on tour, which must be even more intense.
Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing is that the interviews weren't lined up. We met these people.
Yeah, they met organically, right? Yeah.
You do the interviews, and you get the sort of the footage of the environment of where you're at, and but then you got all of that document. Now you got to make a story out of it.
Yeah.
And then you've got 5 of them, so you got to try and figure out a way in which to piece it together. And that jigsaw's never made until you hit the end, and you just hope that the end connected to the beginning.
Okay, let's see some of that process with part 2 of The Art of Being.
I've been blessed on this with meeting so many cool people, so many scientific people that have given me the opportunity to understand about a species before I paint it, and there wasn't a time more pure than in Miami to do that. I met Elizabeth from the Defenders of Wild, and she had a chat with me where the wild manatee are. I can single-handedly say that it was the deepest experience painting that manatee, purely based on the fact that 2 years prior I was witnessing manatee in the wild, and then at a conservation place, we met a manatee that squished his face up against the glass, and through the glass we touched. And it wasn't a question of touching like skin to skin. There was an understanding there. That carried with me into the painting. And so the creation of the painting became more connection for me to the species that I was creating. That's the first time I've had that experience.
Many manatees in Florida are hit by boats. This year, I believe 95 manatees have been killed by boats. The record was in the late 1990s with 97 manatees killed by boats, so we may surpass that. Research look to the scars on the manatees to be able to distinguish individual manatees. They have a pattern. That's a way to identify individuals. Throughout research across the world on different species, they look for identifying marks or patterns, and in this case those marks and patterns are caused by either boat propellers or a blunt force trauma from getting hit by the hull of a boat. They are maintaining their we throw a lot of threats in their direction, and because of the very good conservation work that many entities have coordinated in the past few decades, we're seeing some success.
One of the things that upsets me the most about the ocean is the sheer amount of plastic that gets pumped into it on a daily basis. And people are not aware of it. And one of the fantastic things about the guys that are supporting us, EcoAlf, is that through their products and their clothes, to highlight the fact that that plastic and that fishing net is coming from out the ocean and that it's being turned into a fabric and then we are wearing it. And if more companies can take on that business plan and see that as a role model for a more productive way of A, producing their garments, and B, source of their materials, then we've got a solution to a problem that we have. There is an abundance of plastic made in this planet. There is an abundance of that plastic in the ocean. We can take it out of the ocean and turn it into clothes back on land, and we solve two problems. That's in the last 9 weeks, we've met people from all different demographics and walk of life. We've met young people, old people, indigenous people, people from other lands who have settled here. Everyone that we've met always has the same understanding that we need to come together and we need to fight for what is forward for the environment. No one is happy about the way in which it's going at the moment, and there is a collective understanding of things moving forward, but we need to do it together. The reason for calling this tour The Art of Being was because I want people to be more bee-like. Within a community inside the hive, every bee has a role, and every bee relies upon the other bee to make sure that it's doing its job properly. The bees are going out every single day and they're pollinating, they're keeping this planet stitched together. If people can take on that mindset of the bee, then perhaps we can start to stitch our planet back together and start to fix the problems that we've made. Please, mankind, help out this species like your brothers the bees are doing. We're all in this together. We need them, they need us, that species needs us, we need them. We can learn from the rest of the animal kingdom, but we have to listen to it first. And if there's ever a time that it's shouting at us the loudest, it's now.
Okay, so Louis has a show at the Cave Gallery, right?
What? Yep. So
What?
So I'm getting all American and shit. It's gonna be
an American thing?
I don't know.
I've only heard you do it.
Yeah, there you go. I made it up. It's Cave Gallery, good friends of all of ours, Patrick and T. So Saturday is the
Patrick's
opening
the bomb.
night on North Venice Boulevard. Louis' solo show, which is why he's in town in Los Angeles. You've been working for a long time to get this show ready. We're currently at an easy place while it's shipped. It's kind of in transit at the moment, right? Which is always a stressful time for an artist. Like I spent 3 months in my studio doing this fucking awesome work, and it's in the hand now to get it over here. And the whole show relates to this turning up. As you said, some of your work is very technical. You have to take it apart, rebuild it. And
is it in customs?
It's in customs. But
oh shit!
When I make things like I jigsaw bits of small wood
you
together.
have to put it together.
Well, no, it's already together, but in the transit it can dislodge, which means that part of the painting could pop out. So I'm scared to open it.
Yeah, I would be. That's we all know.
It makes it really, really even more interesting to make sure you come and see it in one piece and what it looks like if it's not.
So
Okay,
Saturday,
so we
6 p.m. Cave. You can check out what's going on. Instagram's at Cave Gallery Photos. My personal one or my business one, whatever the fuck, is London Graffiti. One
You're
word.
so professional.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, something like
I'm
that.
entitled to be. Louis is at Louis Masai, one word.
Yeah.
As usual, just hit us all up on Instagram. Business Portal of Life, no websites or whatever. You can link everything from the Instagram.
Exactly.
There you
Okay,
go.
and any guests we've had on the show before or are going to have on the show, go to wetpuzzlepiece.com. You'll see all of the archives, what's coming up, all of the social media, anything you need to see. Also, this episode should be on there tonight. If not, tomorrow morning. I will see you on Saturday at Louis' show. So show up. Show up, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.
I'm not going to pretend for a second that me painting a painting on a wall is going to stop hedgehogs being killed. What I'm hoping is that me doing that painting will make a few thousand people become aware. I'm trying to make a change for people's understanding. Listen, there is a crisis happening.